Was the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier actually hit, or is this just a psychological operation to conceal information by a leading military superpower? On one side, Houthi forces and Iran claim they carried out a precise attack using cruise missiles combined with UAVs, causing heavy damage to the U.S. multi-billion-dollar supercarrier. On the other side, the U.S. Department of Defense and CENTCOM firmly deny there is no damage whatsoever. All targets were successfully intercepted. And welcome to New Era, where we break down and uncover the most complex movements shaping the world. In military history, the phrase "no damage" is sometimes just a carefully crafted layer of diplomatic language used to conceal a real political storm. Is the Pentagon telling the absolute truth? Or are we witnessing one of the most sophisticated information control operations since the Cold War? If you were sitting in the position of the US President or Secretary of Defense, would you choose to reveal the truth, even if it shakes the image of the invincible US Navy, or preserve at all costs the symbol of the world's #1 power so that it remains intact and intimidating? Leave your thoughts in the comments and we will discuss together. Today we will break down 6 strategic hypotheses behind this silence denial. Are you ready? Let's begin. To understand why this story has caused such intense controversy, let's look at what happened in March 2026, less than 3 weeks ago. At that time, tensions escalated rapidly after direct conflict between the US, Israel, and Iran broke out. The USS Abraham Lincoln CVN-72 carrier strike group was operating in the Gulf of Oman near the Strait of Hormuz, the world's vital oil transport route. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, and its allies quickly claimed they had carried out a large-scale attack targeting this supercarrier. According to Iran, they used a combination of cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, and suicide UAVs. Some missiles penetrated the Aegis defense system and caused direct damage to the carrier. In contrast, CENTCOM and the Pentagon immediately confirmed that an attack did occur, but stated that all targets were successfully intercepted. There was no damage to personnel or equipment. They even released images showing the Lincoln still operating normally at sea. However, just hours later, social media was flooded with videos and images showing thick black smoke, loud explosions, and fires on the sea surface. Some clips were said to capture the moment of impact on the flight deck, but almost immediately, international fact-checking organizations such as AFP Fact Check labeled most of these videos as fake, AI generated, or taken from old events. So what actually happened off the coast of the Gulf of Oman in early March 2026? That is when 6 strategic hypotheses began to emerge. Hypothesis 1. Maintaining military deterrence. A nuclear aircraft carrier is a symbol of U.S. naval power. If Washington admitted that Iranian missiles could damage the USS Abraham Lincoln, its deterrence credibility in the Middle East could be shaken. Other adversaries might see this as an Achilles heel and increase similar challenges. Therefore, total denial may be a way to maintain the image of invulnerability. Hypothesis 2. Concealing damage assessment. This is a basic military principle. If any damage exists, revealing details could provide valuable data for Iran to evaluate weapon effectiveness and adjust tactics for future attacks. Silence or simply stating no damage prevents this feedback loop. Hypothesis 3. Protecting domestic political credibility. An incident involving a carrier worth tens of billions of dollars could trigger investigations in the US Congress. In a sensitive political environment, any negative military information could be exploited. Controlling information reduces internal political risk. Hypothesis 4. Avoiding impact on oil markets and the global economy. The Gulf of Oman and the Strait of Hormuz are critical oil transport routes. Confirming a successful attack on a U.S. carrier could cause shipping insurance costs to surge, oil prices to fluctuate sharply, and economic instability. The U.S. has a clear incentive to keep the situation appearing normal. Hypothesis 5. Concealing tactical adjustments. The carrier may have suffered minor damage to systems that do not affect core combat capability, such as secondary radar or deck equipment. The U.S. may need time to quietly repair or adjust formations without exposing temporary weakness. Declaring normal operations helps conceal this. Hypothesis 6. Possibility of Iranian exaggeration. It cannot be ruled out that Iran exaggerated or used unverified images/videos to gain an advantage in the information domain. As many circulating videos were later identified by fact-checkers as AI-generated, old footage, or unrelated. This may be part of an information warfare campaign to boost morale and pressure Washington politically. These hypotheses are not mutually exclusive and may operate simultaneously. As of now, the US continues to release images and videos showing the Lincoln operating normally, while Iran has not provided convincing independent physical evidence. If you held power in Washington, would you choose transparency or a controlled narrative to protect deterrence? Which of the 6 hypotheses seems most logical to you? Share your strategic view below. We have analyzed 6 strategic hypotheses. Now, let's decode the key phrase repeatedly used by the US: no impact or not hit. In official US military language, especially within the Navy and Department of Defense, these terms carry technical and operational meaning, not absolute physical description. Specifically, not affected often means no impact on mission capability. In other words, even if the ship suffers dents, minor fires in non-critical compartments, damage to secondary radar, or some sensors on the control tower, as long as it can launch and recover aircraft, maintain speed, communication, and basic defense, the US Navy will still declare it not affected. This is standard wording in combat damage reporting. History shows that many US carriers have experienced technical issues or minor incidents, but were still declared operational because missions were not interrupted. The strategic question is, are we demanding physical perfection by civilian standards? Or accepting a harsh military reality that a scratch on the hull does not mean the war machine has been defeated. The US adopts the second definition. Iran emphasizes any physical damage to claim a hit. This difference in definition is a key part of the ongoing information war. After all hypotheses, what is the truth? Let's examine 3 layers of information. Layer 1, Iran and Houthi. They claim damage to USS Abraham Lincoln using cruise missiles and UAVs. However, no independent physical evidence has been released, such as high-resolution images, unedited video, or missile telemetry data. Most circulating materials have been labeled unrelated or AI-generated. Layer 2, United States CENTCOM and the Pentagon issued brief statements confirming interception of all threats and no damage. Even they released images showing normal operations, but no real-time detailed evidence, such as live deck footage or full damage assessment reports. Layer 3, independent data. Commercial satellite companies like Maxar, Planet Labs, and Capella Space have not detected any major damage. However, current resolution may not reveal minor damage to the hull or internal systems. No credible independent source has confirmed a hit. Both sides lack fully convincing independent evidence. This is a typical characteristic of high-level information warfare, where each side tightly controls information for strategic purposes. Now we move to the final conclusion. Up to this point, there is no independent evidence confirming that USS Abraham Lincoln suffered serious damage. However, the ambiguity from both sides shows this is an information war at the highest level. The US may be controlling information to protect national interests, while Iran may be exaggerating to strengthen its position. But one undeniable reality remains. The era when US supercarriers could operate freely at sea without being challenged by regional forces has come to an end. Is Washington's silence a sign of confidence or a perfect cover to prevent a geopolitical shock? Do you trust CENTCOM's report or Iran's claims? Let me know your perspective. If this analysis helps you better understand the situation, hit like and share it. Don't let misinformation mislead. Subscribe and turn on notifications to stay updated every hour as this conflict evolves. Thank you for following New Era. We will continue bringing you the latest strategic developments shaping the world.